Today, we're joined by Dom Price, who is Atlassian's Work Futurist. Dom spent years helping teams and leaders figure out how to work better, and he does it with a no BS style that I love. What I like about Dom, there's a couple of things to like about Dom, but what I do like about Dom the most is that he is not going to give you a list of best practices. He's actually here to help you figure out what makes you brilliant, where you trip yourself up, and how to lead without trying to be the hero all the time. So whether you're leading a team right now or you're just trying to show up as the leader you wish you had, Dom's got a way of making you think differently. And I know you'll leave this conversation with ideas you can put into action straight away. Thanks so much for joining us, Dom.
Mate, looking forward to this. It's going to be fun.
I was talking to you about this before the recording, and I said I'm looking forward to the tables turning because the last time we sat down,
Yes.
you were interviewing me. Now, I'm not interviewing you today, but I have a few questions for you.
You can hit me with them.
The other reason I'm looking forward to this conversation is the one piece of advice you gave me. Do you remember this?
I've given you a few.
I know.
I've only given you one.
I know. Make it stop. Sorry, the one piece of information
The one you remembered.
The one I remembered was don't sit on the fence because you'll get splinters in your bum.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. So you're not going to sit on the fence today. There's no
I'm
splinters
not a
here
fence
today.
sitter. I'm not a fence. It's funny. There's people think not fence sitting is being highly opinionated, and that's not true. Highly opinionated can result in organ rejection. Fence sitting is just, and like both, you don't want either of those, right?
Yes.
I never want to antagonize someone with provocation for the sake of it, and nor do I want to be so mediocre that everyone just agrees. It's like, what's that nice tension between where you're like, and it's what we talked about before. What's the action I can take, or where can I explore? Where can I try? And where do I find the unknowns to be a better leader? And it's uncomfortable but fun.
Yeah. So speaking of being a better leader, you've said before that leaders need to know their superpowers and their kryptonite. And when you think about that, like, what does it come to with, self-awareness? Like, why does that matter? What does it look like in action?
So there's a couple of layers to this. One is I think the opposite of knowing your superpower and kryptonite is almost accepting that you're stagnant, right? The world around you is still, the environment that you're in is static. And if you just continue to do the same things, you'll be fine, right? It's this concept of like business as usual. Right? If I just operate, I'll be fine. And I think there's a lot of, I know there's a lot of leaders I work with where there was a time when that was true, that the world had a slow rate of change. And if you just did the thing on repeat, you got rewarded and recognized for that.
Oh, the good old days.
Good old days, right? And I don't believe that's true now. So with leaders I'm working with, I'm like, how do you find the thing you're really good at? Own it. I'm not saying everyone needs to be an extrovert, jump on stage and beat your chest, but you need to own the thing that is your superpower, that you're good at, adds value, and do a little bit more of it. And then find your kryptonite, the thing that is your weakness, that's your struggle point, and just negate it. It's never going to be a superpower. I'm over that whole chat of like, make your weaknesses your strength BS, right? I'm not going to sign up for any of that Tony Robbins crap. But I'm like, you need to know the thing that you struggle at so it doesn't become the crutch that slows you down, the anchor that stops you. And then the exercise that I like to do with people is, if that's your superpower and kryptonite today, what does that look like in 90 days? What does that look like in 180 days? Because the world around you is moving. So how are you moving at a pace to match that change? Because if you're not, you're the anchor slowing everything down.
Why do you think it matters now more than ever?
There's a few things. One, just like the world of, we've managed to go 5 minutes without me saying AI, but the world of technology change in AI is going to fundamentally alter how all of us work. It's altering business models, it's altering how companies operate, operating rhythms, it's changing the workforce, reorganizing how teams are structured, it's changing everything. So you're like, okay, if you're static, you've probably not got a huge amount of time left, right? So you've got to adapt, and I know you've had the likes of Andrea on, like the power of adapting is going to be a superpower for people. Like, how do you do that evolution? But how do you do that to understand an environment where you can thrive? I think there's been probably a period of time when we've accepted survival, whether it be pandemic was about survival, that wasn't about thriving. Before that, economic uncertainty, politics, there's been times where you're like, okay, just get through it. We can't do that in the long run. We can't wake up every morning with buoyancy and shoulders up going, yeah, I'm really excited to just get by. So you're like, if we're not going to get by, we want something better. I believe we have agency to create that, but that is an agency to go, I'm going to explore and experiment with how I lead.
Yes.
Which is quite different to what I've seen in the recent past, which is I'm fine. I'm going to get others to change.
Yes.
And that tipping point, I think, happened already.
Okay.
Not everyone's accepted it. I think it's happened. So it's like, cool, if that changes are coming, how do I equip myself to survive and thrive in this new world, rather than how do I polish what existed in the previous world?
Yeah, because I guess if you aren't aware of your kryptonite, then you're just going to keep bumping into it every single day.
Yeah. Well, even worse, you over time put blinkers up so you ignore it. So it's knowing your kryptonite isn't about punishing yourself. It's about going, that's something I'm not great at, and I need that to not kill my career.
I see this a lot at the moment in terms of like people are either in this stage of complete ignorance of like, I don't want to talk about it, or they're like, okay, I know this is happening, and just sitting in this mode of like, I think I'm fucked, or I don't really know what to do.
Yeah, the flamingo. I'm going to stick my head in the sand, bum in the air, and hope for the best.
Yeah. Someone else will sort it out, right? We'll all be okay.
It will all be okay. And hope, it's not a strategy. It'll last you for a while, right? It'll buy you a bit of time, but hope isn't agency. Hope is an externality of something in the environment will change and I'll be okay. Versus I just, all the leaders I'm working with right now have way more agency than they ever give themselves credit for. And when they tap into that, they're like, oh, hang on. So there's things I can do. You're like, yeah, there's way more within your influence and control than you're giving yourself credit for. Take action there and see what happens around you. You're leading the change rather than let it happen to you. And I think in the modern era, that's an active choice. Do you want this to happen to you? Because it will.
Yes.
Or are you going to take more of a proactive approach and lead through it?
Yes. I think that that tipping point, though, is the awareness into action. Have you seen people navigate that well? Or does it require a lot of coaching and a lot of working it through to find that one thing they need to change?
It's weird. I've come to a belief that there's some level of life experience, and I don't know if it's a work experience, a life experience, something in a lot of the leaders that I'm working with, they just seem to naturally be equipped with that. And it's not a thing they've read in a book. It's not a podcast they've listened to. It's not an inspirational speaker where they've gone, wow, God, apparently someone stood on stage and told me that change was happening. Like, it's not that. It's innate within them, this belief that they can evolve, they can adapt, they can change, they have that agency. So therefore, the only thing they need is the blinkers out. The awareness to go, what are the insights? What data points here matter? It's noisy out there. What's noise? What's signal? Get the signal, make the change, iterate. They review, did this work, didn't it? If it did, I'm going to do more of it. If it didn't, don't do it again, but I'll tell the story. And they have this loop, right? And that loop gets tighter and higher fidelity and better. And when I see them do it, it looks natural. When I see leaders struggling with it, they actually see it as linear. Start, middle, and end.
Okay, right? That's really interesting.
And I don't know when I realize this is probably in the last few months, but there's a few leaders I'm working with, they're like, when will this be solved?
Right? Who's coming to save me?
What's the answer? It happened with work from home. Is it 4 days or is it 3? Should I work from home 2 days? And I'm like, this desire for a singular answer is the problem. There's the ones that are like, okay, so there isn't an answer. Here's the data points and here's how I'm going to manage it. And the thing I'm actually going after is flexibility. And you're like, oh, you're fine. If you're going after flexibility, it might be work from office, but you're flexible on hours or something else, right? Flexibility is the goal. Right. Whereas others have gone, I need a policy and a structure that says how many days do I work from home? You're like, that will never be the answer, because the answer will not work for anyone, let alone everyone.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm thinking back to a time, like around that time when I was running a flexibility experiment. And I'm like, it's flexibility experiment. Here's what our goal is, etc. And then everyone was coming at me as a leader going, so if I've got a doctor's appointment and if this, and I'm like, whoa, I can't solve every scenario here. The word is flexibility. I need you to lean into this as much as I'm delivering some of it as well.
But that again, if you think like 2 ways of solving the problem, one is a loop. I will never solve it, but I'll get 1 degree better. Okay. The other one is there's a problem. I identify it, I solve it, it's gone away. It's linear. Right? I just don't think the linear one works anymore. No. But it's the way a lot of people have been trained. Like, when will the problem be solved, Lisa? And you're like, never. Yes. Like, if you think about it in a relationship, like, when will my relationship be perfect? Never. You work on it forever, right? Yes. And there's highs and there's lows and ups and downs, and you're like, So there's other facets in life where we get this, and then we come to work, and for some reason think it's uniform and solvable and controllable, like a science experiment. You're like, no, it's not. It's malleable and weird and messy.
Oh my gosh, it's even worse because of the people, all the different people problems involved in part of that. That's really interesting, I think, that loop versus the linear, because I think the linear feeds into this like old school hero complex that a lot of leaders have had. We've talked about this before and how it like lingers in a lot of workplaces. Why do you think it's so persistent, like the hero model? And especially we were talking before this, you're saying it's a bit prevalent now.
Yeah.
What are the mindset shifts that people need to make around it?
I mean, you talked about self-awareness before. I think as much as I see a desire for more self-awareness, the reality I see a lot right now in market is self-preservation, right? There's a lot of leaders at various levels, right, that are just feeling more threatened. They're in the compression chamber. They've got young kids and a family. They've got elderly parents. They've got a lifestyle they've signed up for, job uncertainty, political pressures. Like, they're feeling everything from all angles, and they're in this compression chamber. And I think we've just taken a lot of certainty away from them. And their reaction to that is panic, self-preservation. One of the weird habits that I see with someone who's experiencing self-preservation, two that come to mind. One is information hoarding. So they go into the mindset of knowledge is power. I'm going to hoard knowledge. Good luck with that in 2025, right? It's ubiquitous and it's out there.
Yeah.
The second one, which I think sort of taps more into this hero leadership, is this weird desire to be right. I said to a leader the other week, we were sort of coaching, going through this problem we were trying to solve, a people-based problem. And I said, what's more important for you, to be right or to resolve the problem?
Oh, that's a great question.
And it was met with a lot of silence. Which
at least they were deliberating.
I left the silence there. I'm like, I'm going to be binary with you, which.
Yeah.
And they swore a lot, and they were like, okay, everything I'm doing is about being right. And I was like, okay.
Wow. Cool. What a realization.
I'm like, do you win? Like, honestly, deep down, if you're right, do you win? The ego gets a massage, but do you win?
Like, you see where it comes from, though, right? The self-protection. I'll be the hero. So then if I'm the hero, I have to be right.
I can then tell everyone I was right.
Yeah. So. And then they need me.
Yeah. So you think you're creating a loop, but actually you're extracting yourself from the loop. You're no longer in the loop. You're not required anymore. So it's a cheesy thing to say, but we've spoken about this before. The idea of like, here's what I know, here's what I believe, and here's what I don't know. The hero won't tell you what they don't know. They'll fill in that gap with pretend knowledge. So I like to think about the world in terms of currency, right? Okay. It's a weird model someone gave me years ago.
Yeah.
Every business has a currency. Every leader has a currency. And I think we've got a choice of two currencies in the world right now: certainty or confidence.
Okay.
Right? Hero leaders play with certainty. I'm certain what the future is going to look like. I'm certain that they sound so believable because they've got this certainty and you like it. Yeah. They gift you a cloak of certainty. You wear it and you're like, we have a plan. And if you just deliver on this plan, we've got the app. There you go.
Yeah.
All we need to do now is deliver. Oh, thank God for your wisdom and your excellence, right? They don't know. They're pretending, right? So certainty in modern business is really dangerous. The alternative, which is confidence, is what do we know now? Okay. What do we believe? And what don't we know? And the things that we don't know, how can we build some assumptions and go and validate them quickly? So we get more knowns, right? We move the beliefs into knowns, right? And the don't know into beliefs. We keep on edging everything to the left. And the world carries on changing, so you never solve it. Again, you're in the loop, same model, you're in the loop, right? But you get more confident. So you try something, you go from 0 to 20%. So like when I was building a new plan for a new strategy for my team the other week. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get it from 0 to 20. Work with my direct teammates, right? 3 really close teammates. You're going to help me get it from 20 to 40%. Yep. Right? We're going to share it with a few of our stakeholders. Right, they're going to give some brutal feedback, some positive, some negative. They'll get it from 40 to 60. Brilliant. We're going to share it externally with a few of our bigger stakeholders. That gets it from 60 to 80. Yeah. And we never get to 100. No, because you're constantly iterating. Yeah. Right. Yes. Yeah. But if you like the average leader, like you think enterprise leader, tenure in role, and you say to them, you'll never get to 100. They're like, get it to 100. Because they want to hold you accountable. Get the plan finalized. I know, but there's so moments in time, right? Get the plan finalized, share it, deliver, right? And the finger come out, right? The hero's point. You will do it. If you just go and do that, we'll be fine. So they're tellers, right? So they're tellers. They're not seekers. Okay. They know, but what the leadership style I love spending time with is the seeker. The one who's curious. What might be. Or maybe we could try this, or I tried this before in this work, but we might need to tweak it. They're open, right? The leader says, I've done this before, here's the answer. I'm a knower. Is the seeker someone who's more comfortable with the 80% plan? Way more comfortable. Yeah, okay. And then we'll just keep iterating. I don't understand the 100% 5-year plan. Like, no one knows. How can you with certainty you got to remember, the currency of certainty is alive and well in many businesses. Yeah. So instead of fighting it, I've had to learn to accept it. It's not my preferred way,
Okay.
but I can't fight that it exists. That would be me not understanding the true breadth of the world, right? So I'm
Yes.
like, I have to, like, whether I like it or not, separate, I have to accept that that's the currency of some businesses. And if they've built a 5-year plan, I have to accept that and then go, okay, how can I gently help you realize that this might not be the case? Because if I can't help you.
So if I'm a leader in a business that's trading on certainty, and I don't really agree with that certainty 5-year plan, what can I do to like gently nudge them into another space?
There's a good game I've been playing with leaders. So let's talk about the mistake first.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
The mistake is the violent swing, right?
Have you done this before? Have you violent swung? Yeah.
So you throw your toys in the air, you bang the table, and you're like, oi, you're all stupid. You can't build a plan, right? And you have your little tantrum and everyone's like, uh-oh. Someone got out the wrong side of bed, dog.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, oh my God. So you violently swing and all everyone tells you is you're the maverick, you don't like planning, you're unstructured, you would say that. So you've not spoken their language, you've not met them part way, right?
Okay.
So what I do with leaders is go, cool, you want to build a 100% plan.
Yes.
If you were to flip that, what's the lowest percentage you could build and still survive,
Okay.
right? So I did this with an insurance company recently, very risk averse, very structured. And they were like, okay, 80%. I'm like, brilliant.
80% is pretty good.
I'm like, take it. So build the plan to 100%. I'm going to let you do that. Bring it down to 80. And then let's save 20% for volatility. Right? So it's not that we don't have a plan. We do, but we're keeping our eyes and ears open to what's happening around us. And if we get those insights, we're saving 20% of our capacity, of our portfolio, of our time, our mental cognitive load to adapt and course correct on purpose.
Yes.
Right? On purpose. And they're like, so they're a bit uncomfortable. They're like, okay. I'm like, but that's okay because 80% of the things are known.
That is the key, I think, in what you said is like pivot on purpose.
On purpose.
Because I think
with time.
Yeah.
Like if you pivot on knowledge but you have no capacity, then you're stupid.
Yes. But I think the adverse of that is the certainty people would see the seekers and be like, you're just changing the guard post, like the rules all the time.
You're moving the goalposts all
the goalposts all the time. Yeah. Can we just stick with something?
Just pick a plan. Yeah.
We want to come like somewhere in between there.
100%.
Right?
Right. And that's a compromise. So the best answer I've seen so far is 70-20-10.
Yes.
70% kind of knowns, here's the plan. We think this is kind of logical. We've done some research. Let's just get started. The quicker we start, the better, the faster we'll know.
Yeah.
20%, it's options, right? We think it's going to be A, B, or C. We don't know today if it's A, B, or C, but here's how we will know, and we'll pick A, B, or C. 10%, we have no idea, right? The funny thing is people treat the A, B, or C as we must know that now. Why? You can make that decision in months. Why make a decision now that you don't have to? Me and my wife work on this all the time. I'm like, we like a silly personal example. We're going out the other day. She's like, so talk about something like happening at night, and do you want to do this or that? And it's like, we don't have to make that decision till 5 o'clock. Let's make it at 5, because by 5 o'clock we'll know more.
Right.
And we'll make the call then. There is no benefit to making it other than potentially decision fatigue and you worrying about the decision, but there's no benefit to making it now when we can make it later. Yeah. In business, that's even more profound. Why make it with imperfect information when you can genuinely make it at a later point?
So you are 80% planning your weekends?
All the time. We've got young kids. I mean, we have an 80% plan.
I think it's more a 50% plan with young kids.
None of that gets delivered on, but
yeah. I think in all of this, like sometimes it can feel like leadership is really heavy.
Yeah, it is.
I honestly feel like it can be a privilege at times. Like
it's a heavy privilege.
It's a heavy privilege. I loved leading teams and helping people grow and all of those things. A lot of people, I think, feel like it's punishment right now.
It's hard. It's harder than it's been before. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Why is it so hard right now? Like, how do we make it feel less like a burden for people?
I think we need to be honest about why it's hard. We didn't train leaders to be leaders.
Yes.
We weren't fair on the expectation. I think a lot of them got missold a promise. We've shared before, you graduate university, you work for 45 years and then you retire. And nowhere in those 45 years did we talk about reskilling, micro-credentials, relearning, redesign, all the things that are now abundantly true.
Yes.
So there's a whole cohort of essentially middle-aged people who are like, I thought I was doing this for life and now you told me a lie. I'm not doing this for life. And this thing called leadership that you've not trained me on is really complex and hard. Most businesses, and I've struggled with this myself, is we promote strong individual contributors with craft skills into leadership and just assume they'll make the leap, right? And it's not fair. Like, people's skills are their own beast, right? Probably number one bane of my life and my career has been the phrase soft skills. I'm like, they're not soft, they're really hard, right?
Exactly. Preaching to the converted here.
Yeah, so I think that's one aspect. The other one is we're going through what feels like epic change, reorg, this desire for productivity, more efficiency, the economy's tight, short-term thinking, massive change to fundamentally static business models. So the consulting businesses that have operated the same way for 100 years have been challenged in their business model. Utilities companies that were like, we sell gas and electricity and now everything's online and an app and I'm trading my electricity live on a daily basis. And they're like, oh my God, that was never part of the plan. Like, we made electricity, you consumed it. And now I'm a creator of electricity. Like, all markets are changing. And that's just putting this pressure on leaders to think long-term, act in the short term.
Yeah.
Okay. Be a custodian of change and change themselves and inspire others with change. Handle inherent uncertainty and ambiguity and have answers, but not know the answer. And they're like, sorry, what?
So what am I doing today?
Right.
Whilst getting average married, Monday looks like.
Whilst getting married, having children later in life, right? Financial crises or like cost of living crises, and they're like, God, I don't know if I signed up for this. Like, what is this thing?
Yes. And if you've come from an individual contributor piece and you're starting to learn around how to manage people in the mix of that, because it is a real craft.
Yeah. So here's the uncomfortable truth that I don't think is discussed a lot, is most performance management systems reward outputs and they don't reward the value you bring when you inspire and bring together a group of people. They don't actually reward or recognize leadership. They reward and recognize outputs and doing.
Yeah. Did you do the project?
Yes.
They don't really measure retention. Do people want to work with you? Do they do their best work because they work with you? Yeah.
So the best, and it's rarity, the best performance management systems I've seen, which again are another currency of business, are the ones that look at what you achieved and how you achieved it. A lot will go, well, we can ignore the how if you got there.
Oh, no, don't ignore the how.
Em
and I talk about this all the time. Like, people get so stuck. I actually call it visible work and invisible work. Yeah. People get so stuck on the what they're doing, the visible work, they forget the how, the invisible work, and all the things that make that other work so good because of it.
So that is now amplified in a world of data and measurements. So we're gonna metric everything, right? We're gonna put so many numbers in place. We know exactly everything that's happening. You're like, well, you don't. You can only measure, right, and instrument the things that you can see, but you can't do it for the unseen. So with a senior leader recently, slightly controversial, but I said to him, I was like, do you love your wife? And he's like, sorry? I was like, do you love your wife? And he's like, yeah.
I want to know the context of how this came out, but
and
sure.
He said, yeah, why? I was like, how many times do you tell her? Do you measure that? And he's like, no. I was like, but she knows. And he's like, yeah. Well, how does she know?
Yeah.
The most important thing in life, which is the significant relationship you have with your loved one, this intimate bond you pick one person for, and she knows you love her and you know she loves you, but you're not measuring it. You've not instrumented that. And if you did instrument that, you'd get really stupid results. Yeah. I've got a KPI this week. I need to tell you I love you 5 times a day.
Yeah, every day.
5 times a day, I love you like that.
That means nothing. You're just telling me because you KPI'd on it.
Right. So we all have that moment in life where we ask someone to do something and they did it. And you're like, I don't feel any better because it's not that you did the thing. It's that I wanted you to do it without me asking.
It's like when you have to tell your children to say sorry and they're like, yeah, sorry. And you're like, that wasn't, you didn't mean it. You didn't mean it.
So it's the same in measurements. Right? In business, we've got so busy instrumenting everything and going, here's our pipeline and here's the percentage of people that clicked on it. And you're like, okay, pause. Did anyone like it? Did they feel better? You're like, we can't measure feels. So.
No. So just take it off the table altogether.
Yeah. So if you think about it right now, like some of the most important measures, I would love to find a way of considering in business are feels, sentiment, loyalty, mood, hope. Like they're all things that I'd love to measure in different cohorts. And you're like, that'd be great leading indicators. We can't. So we measure things that we can see, which I think are often very misleading.
What could I do if I was a leader in a team and I'm like, I fully buy into this. I buy into the 80% plan. I want to show my team love. I want to measure these things. I want to measure the feels and stuff. Like, how could I show up differently?
The best example I worked with a relatively large organization recently, a subset of teams. We did it as a small experiment, which itself is a story. It's like they wanted to change the org, and I was like, it's too big, it's too behemoth. let's just experiment and play. Let's play here. If it works, we'll get some virality. It'll kick in.
Okay.
And it did. Simple model was, their problem was some of their teams were very input focused, like, oh, must be certain we're doing the right things. Others were very output focused. We shipped something.
Okay.
And others were very outcome focused. We had impact.
Wow.
Who's the best out of those three?
Well, I personally gravitate towards the impact.
So the answer is none of them. It's a trick because they were all flawed. So the outcome-based team really struggled because they do a piece of work and they're like, no idea if it's going to have to wait 3 or 6 months to know if that worked.
Wow.
Huge delayed gratification.
Okay.
Right, big problem for motivation, right, and intrinsic for urgency and everything, right?
Yeah.
The input-based team couldn't start anything.
Why couldn't they start
Because
anything?
they had to have all the inputs first. So, but once they did start, they were super fast. They were
Great.
amazing.
Okay.
But paralyzed from the get-go, right?
Wow.
The output team were very busy.
But not thinking about the bigger picture.
They were busy doing
just
stuff,
producing
things. Producing.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, and so we're trying to work out which one to optimize for when someone was like, what about all three? What if they only exist in concert? So we're like, cool. So with teams, we're like, what input measures do you need to know you're set up for success? What's the minimum bar? MVP style. What's the minimum thing? So you need a shared understanding of the outcome.
Yes.
And you need to know who you're working with. Everything else you can work out along the way. Cool.
Yeah.
What are the output measures, which are lead indicators that you did the right thing and you're trending in the right direction? And then what are the outcome measures, the impact you have? And that's externally facing. So the first two are internal. I'm set up for success. I delivered something. The third one is external. What impact did I have on another person? I delivered some kind of value exchange to them. I need to go and check with them if they received that value exchange.
Yeah.
It's not if I sent it, it's if they received it.
Okay.
Two very different things, right?
Yes.
When they have all three,
Yeah.
gorgeous things happen.
Magic team. I think I come across output-based teams, like hearing you describe each of those the most.
Yes.
And
Current
I'll be
economy,
talking to them.
100% in the current economy.
Yeah. I'm going, so why are you doing this? And they're like, I don't know. I just have to do this project. Yeah. I'm like, what? What are you trying to do? And they're like, I don't know. I just have to do this project. I'm like,
just do the needful.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you go into the not-for-profit sector.
Oh.
All outcome focused because they're heavily associated with purpose and impact.
Yes.
No urgency. No speed of delivery. No cycle of improvement. Because they're like, we saved a life today. We're awesome. You're like, you could have saved 2. Well, we saved 1.
Yeah. So high five.
So very outcome focused, right? Which is not bad, but it's like the balance, and it's not a third on each. You've got to have the balance for like, how am I set up for success? Because I need to start as quick as humanly possible. Don't deliberate the start. Get the bare minimum and go. You'll learn as you go along. But you then need to know, like, what are the outputs? Like, how do I directionally know I'm heading to the right place? Right. So you've got to know what you're shipping, the product, the experience, the service, whatever. Cool. Delivered. Now I need to, who was I delivering that to? And 3 or 6 months after the event, has that manifested in the way I expected? The chance are it didn't. You learn from that. That feeds your next input metric. Guess what? It's another loop. It's not linear. It's another loop.
Yeah.
The outputs and the outcomes inform the inputs, right? You should get systematically more intelligent. This is the way artificial intelligence is built. It gets more intelligent with each usage.
Yes.
Humans can do the same thing. We haven't been trained. We haven't set that expectation.
No, that's just not how work has worked previously.
No, because we're told to do, not to learn. So I spend a lot of time with sports teams, military teams. They're like, here's the amount of time we spend training to then deliver. And I'm like, we're the opposite. You spend 95% of your time training, 5% delivery. We're 95% delivery, less than 5% training. And we expect continual improvement. It's a buzzword that's existed and not been delivered on.
Wow.
But in the current environment without it, we're going to be screwed.
I think it's interesting how like just a simple phrasing, word, mindset shift can help with that. Or like if I look at your example and I think about my own leadership style and I was like very much doer, I'm like, this is what we're doing, we're going to do it, da-da-da-da. And then when I started shifting language into this is an experiment. Yeah. Here's what we're trying to achieve. I don't know how it's going to go, but you're all in on this, right?
Yeah. So
totally
there's a subtle line
yeah.
after the word experiment that you may or may not say out loud, but it's there. So the minute you're doing an experiment, it's because you don't know.
Yes.
Too many leaders I work with say the word experiment. They forget the phrase, because I don't know.
Ooh.
It's not an experiment because I've read about it in a book or I heard about it in a podcast. It's experiment because I don't know.
Yeah.
And when you say that, the whole room levels, they go, what do you mean you don't know? You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got some ideas. I've got some beliefs and some theories and some assumptions, but I don't actually know. But what I'd like to do is to work through it with you.
Yes.
Like, if anyone wants a book on empowerment, just save yourself $25. Just do that instead.
I
don't know. Can we experiment together?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Empowerment.
here's how we're going to see if it works or not. And then off we go and we'll keep going. Yeah.
Joint experiment, joint learning, humility, vulnerability. Like, you get them all in the
of that.
package without ever saying the words.
I fully changed my leadership style, and I reckon in the space of like 3 months, from going, here's the project, here's what we're going to deliver, and here's how we're going to do it, to it's an experiment. We don't know. I said we don't know if it's going to work, because we are all trying to work on it together. And here are some stages. We actually used your pre-mortem exercise to work through it and go, okay, here's what's going to happen.
What increases our chance of success? What increases our chance of failure?
Yeah. I'll link to that in the show notes. Out of curiosity, because I was just talking about some mistakes that I've made, what's your biggest leadership mistake that you've made recently?
It's funny. I try and avoid giant ones by doing lots of small ones.
Okay.
I think there's a few with I alternate between wanting to be an individual contributor and a leader. I keep on finding myself in leadership positions, not by accident. It's kind of on purpose. But then I'm like, I really like just getting on and doing the work.
Yeah.
So I'm always playing with that tension. With my team recently, there was a whole lot of examples where I thought I was role modeling stuff to them and they were just picking it up. And then when we sort of met in person, we had a chat. I was like, I was not clear that was my expectation. I've made some assumptions. So I think my leadership thing is I default to thinking that people like to learn in the style I like to learn.
Oh, yeah.
Therefore, my style of learning is, hey, put something out in the universe. I'll cherry pick from A and some from B and some from C, and I'll build my own version of it. And so I put some stuff out there and just wait for A, B, and C to happen, and then it doesn't. And that's because all my team think and learn differently than me. And that's not a bad thing. I've done that on purpose.
Actually a really good thing.
And so the challenge I have is we work in a fully distributed team. So my team is spread across the US, Europe, and Australia. We have no time zone overlap. So we have no team meetings.
Wow.
We haven't had in the 3 years we've existed. So we connect asynchronously. We do a really good job of we connect through. We record a loom wherever you are in the world every Monday morning. You record a loom, 3 highlights from last week, what you did in the weekend, family, friends, kids, whatever.
Yeah.
And what are the 3 highlights you're expecting this week, right? And we share that asynchronously. We comment, we collaborate, right? But that's all done in our own time zone. So we don't have a meeting. And that's good for the day-to-day operations. I'd forgotten about the need for that umbrella, the overarching connection, the purpose. How do we think about like longer term macro level impact? I had that for myself and I assumed that I'd shared that. I didn't check if it had been received.
See, that is like the absolute point in that. I didn't check if it's been received.
I didn't check. I broadcast. I didn't.
Yeah. How did you understand that? What does that mean to you, etc.? Love that. That's a good share.
Yeah.
Hey, so for someone managing a team right now, what's one thing they could walk away from and try this week that would help them lead more effectively in the current environment?
Good question. I'm going to give you 2 very quick ones. There's 2 because I want it depending on what situation you're in.
Yeah.
If you're in a firefighting situation, you think something's wrong, but you don't know what. There's an exercise. We've published this in our team playbook. It's free online. You don't have to pay anything. Called the Health Monitor.
Okay.
Right? 8 areas of a healthy team. Get your team together. You've already got a forum. You've probably already got a team meeting. Just hijack it. And so instead of going through actions and status and boring things, we're going to do this Health Monitor. 8 areas of a healthy team. Use your thumbs. Healthy. Not so good, not so bad.
Does Samantha Imber do this? I heard her talk about this recently.
Samantha, right?
Yes.
And you do that with the 8 areas are documented, and then you go, cool, let's pick one area we want to improve on as a team, right? So again, bring the team in, not you solving it, right? Do it as a team. That's great if you honestly don't think you know the answer and you want to bring the team along, right? If you think you know the answer, one of the most common areas right now that are coming up are social contracts in the team and across teams. Right, so a lot of the tax people pay is, my team's fine, but we struggle when we're dependent on other teams and they're a pain. You're like, you all work in the same organization, right? So we have an exercise called the working agreement, which is your social contract for how you're going to work. The reason I mention it is whenever you form a new team, everyone arrives with assumptions. I've got my way of working, you've got yours. So's got hers, and we just meet. We don't agree them. Yeah. We just bring our own ways of working, and we create this weird Frankenstein hybrid, this crap, right? Yeah. So you're like, instead of that, bin that. Let's agree a social contract. How and when are we going to meet? What do we meet about? How do we make decisions? How do we escalate? How do we communicate? Are we WhatsApp? Are we Slack? Are we email? Are we pages? Like, agree that, because we've all got a view. Yes. Let's agree that as a social contract. What is our rhythm and cadence? Yeah. And then let's work on it.
It's amazing how many people skip that step.
Skip it. then you get busy, right? You end up in the whack-a-mole, right? You end up in the and it's because we reward the firefighter, right? And the firefighter is also the fire starter. Firefighters start fires.
Yes.
100%. You walk around your org, there's someone, they've got a badge, employee of the month, they've got a cape in the drawer, they've normally got a bottle of whiskey in the drawer as well, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, look at fire. They put the cape on, fly in, put the fire out. You're like, Jason, every time, it's just, you're so quick with the fire response. Jason started the fire.
Jason started the fire.
Jason needs fires to survive, right?
Yeah.
So, and the reason we do that is there's immediate recognition. There was a fire, you put it out. Fireproof is you're like, there was no fire today. How do I reward you? Maybe there wasn't ever going to be a fire. And you're like, no, I fireproofed. Look, there's no fires. You're like, I don't value that.
No, it's not visible.
So the working agreement players going like, let's just get our social contract of how we're going to work together, and let's do less thrashing and more prevention. It's harder to measure the impact of, but it feels better.
Yeah.
And we get that alignment early on, and it's alignment on goals and ways of working. We have a common mission, even though we're going to work separately, common mission, and we have a common way of working and meeting and disagreeing and all those things. And build your own deck first. You do that in your own house with your own team. Get your social contract working. Then you do it with the 2 or 3 teams upstream and downstream. Absolute game changer.
I imagine it avoids a lot of the blame game then too, because you're not
brings it to the fore.
Yeah, okay.
You still blame.
Yeah.
You just do it 3 months earlier.
So you blame me in advance.
Yeah.
Dom, you and your team.
I don't agree with this way of working. Well, I want to meet every day. You're like, I want to meet once a week.
Great.
We're going to have that argument in 3 months.
Yeah.
So we're just going to have it now and avoid the time wasted.
Yes.
Just bring the argument forward.
Not even the time wasted. Let's talk about the stuff you can't measure.
The dance, the
angst,
theatre,
the frustration.
the politics, the pre-meeting, the post-meeting, the meeting I'll have without you to make you feel bad, like the ghosting.
Rubbing your face like you're doing now.
Yeah.
That kind of frustration.
All those. So you bring it forward and you avoid it. It's just harder to measure.
Can you share those resources with me? I think 100%. We'll link them in this so people can get into it, because that's a great tip for today.
And one final word on them is they're not, there's templates in there, but they're not procedural or policy. No. They're guidance. And the best way to approach them is with playfulness. So what you share in the show notes, if someone copy, cuts and pastes that, it won't work, right? That works in my organization, in my environment.
Yes.
Look at it and go, I get the spirit of this, tailor it, and then be playful with how you apply it. It's not right or wrong.
Curiosity. Just curiosity. Ask some questions around it. This has been so good, Dom. I think we could probably talk for another 2 hours, but we won't. I think for a lot of people listening, leadership can feel like this massive, overwhelming responsibility. And what you've reminded us is that it's actually about small intentional choices here along the way, made over and over. The loop that you talk about. Not the problem, solution, done, park it, move on, go and watch your favorite TV show. We're going to come back to it. So if you're leading a team right now, maybe this week it's about being a bit more curious or letting someone else step up and just noticing your own kryptonite in action. You don't have to change everything overnight. What you want to try this week could be the thing that they actually remember you for. Be interested to ask your team what they remember you for and what they think of you.
And use the phrase, how might we?
How might we? I think it's also worth remembering that at the end of the day, that the leader you always wanted was not perfect at all. They just showed up in a way that made you want to do your best work. And that's what we're hoping for you when you listen to this episode. And I think it's something we can all try starting now.
Yeah. There's no barriers. You don't need any capital expenditure. You don't need any approval or any business case. You just got to back yourself.
Just go and give it a try.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Dom. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.